Hi and welcome to Tau Week. This week we're running through the new Tau Codex. Me and Jack, both big Tau players. Myself, Gavin, from Beasts of War. Jack.
From the forums, you might know me as Anihil.
Yep. Been playing Tau for a long time, since they first come out, and been eagerly anticipating this Dex. I mean, you know, Tau have always been interesting. They've got their ups and downs, weight-wise and power-wise. But I think now, with the new Dex coming out, they're really going to start hitting the tables hard, and people are going to be a bit scared of the Tau, I think.
Yeah, especially their ranged firepower, because they've never been about
and just the weight of firepower going forward. But this video, we're just going to cover the HQs. Got all your old favourites in there, plus a few new, and quite a few tweaks as well. So yeah, we'll stick onto that. We'll cover first the Warlord traits, because, you know, that's one of the new parts of 6th edition. You've got your little individual skills, and quite a few of the named characters then will use a specific one as well, or you get to roll. 6 traits as normal. You can actually choose to go with the traits at the book if you'd prefer.
For the most part, other than the one on the very right, none of them are very useful for Tau. It's probably better if you just stick with the ones in the book.
Yeah, I mean, they are really good. So, we'll start off. So, out of the 6 traits, number 1, Precision of the Skilled Hunter. Enemy models cannot take Lookout Sir rolls against your Warlord shooting attacks. If your Warlord has no ranged weapon, re-roll it. So, yeah, really good.
Yeah, though, let's face it, other than the Ethereals, every single Tau has a ranged weapon, so most are going to stick with it, I think, if they get it.
Yeah, you've got so many range of weapons you can put on them now that if you are getting precision shots against them, and I think there's war gear as well that can give you a precision shot of 5 or 6.
Yeah, it basically
you can snipe out whatever you like, so, you know, brilliant. And the fact they're not taking Lookout Sirs as well, and you're sticking out, you know, plasma rounds or fusion rounds or anything like that, that's going to ruin someone's day. Through Unity, Devastation, bit Taoish, I suppose. It's a bit of, you know.
Yeah, they've definitely got Tau names to them.
Yeah, 1 use only. Not bad, I suppose, you know, if it works out. Declare your Warlord is using his ability at the start of your shooting phase. For the duration of the phase, all friendly units within 12 of the Warlord get to reroll 1s, as long as they're a Codex unit. So basically, Kroot, Vespid, your suits, your drones, your, you know, everything. Yeah. As long as it's within a 12-inch bubble of your commander, they've basically got preferred enemies, so they're re-rolling 1s to hit.
I mean, that used to be
and that isn't... Oh no, it is just shooting. Yeah, it does say shooting phase, so it's not...
It won't work for Overwatch or anything like that. But it does affect, because it used to be in the old Codex that Kroot wouldn't get any sort of bonuses.
No, but now they're getting 1 from this, so yeah, you know, works nicely. Yeah. Third one, a ghost who walks amongst us. The Warlord and his unit moves 3d6 when making jetpack thrust moves.
Yeah, that's always very nice.
Yeah, so you're going from really nimble units to really, really nimble units.
Or, if the dice gods really hate you, from 2 inches to 3 inches.
Yeah.
But then, let's face it, that extra inch always helps.
But, you know, it's one of those things, it does happen, but it does mean you've got some nice new tactics there. You can throw your guy all over the place, and you're going to be nippy, and people aren't going to expect it.
No, definitely one, because if you get the full 18 inches, that is the maximum for a charge range. Yeah. So it means that you really can pull back if you think they're going to try and charge me next turn. Yeah. So that's always really useful.
So, you know, 3 strong ones so far. Fourth one, Exemplar of the Selfless Cause. Again, 1 use only. Declare your Warlord is using this ability at the start of your movement phase. All friendly units from the Codex on the battlefield that have gone to ground are no longer considered to be gone to ground and can move, shoot and charge as normal. This one, meh.
As is useful, if you have an Aegis defence line, they go to ground underneath it and then next turn up again.
Yeah, I mean...
There are better ones, but...
How often do people go to ground? I mean, I might be wrong, I very rarely use the rule.
I never use the rule, I must say.
You know, it might be a thing now. To use it a lot more, and at least it's, you know, you're not penalised by doing it.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it would give you the option, wouldn't it? So it might be a case of, I can do it now. I don't have to take a roll in order to get up. It just is automatic.
It's not really one I'd aim for.
No.
But, you know, if I'm wrong, if there's something out there, if someone's got some good tactics for that, you know, let us know. But, not really. Okay, number 5, Predator of the Skies. Now, yeah, this one, I think this one's going to piss a lot of people off.
Yes.
1 use only. Declare your Warlord is using this ability at the start of one of your shooting phases. For that phase, the Warlord and his unit may fire with Skyfire special rule. So again, you know, if you get him to join whatever unit you like, because he's an independent character, you're sticking out, what, potentially...
Well, if you stick him in a Fire Warrior squad with...
and you stick out, you know, 30 or 40 or 50 rounds as
only if they have a certain
if you have a few other characters around at the same time, which we'll cover later.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a nice big flak field there, or with your broadsides, so you don't have to pay the upgrade, or with your crisis suits, or whatever. I mean, even with your pathfinders.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
as we cover in the fast attack video, the new weapon options for pathfinders are really going to change the game for them now. I mean, they're losing pinning, but they're now carrying basically plasma cannons. So stay tuned for that one. That's going to be good. But you start then putting Skyfire on those weapons. You're
going to start taking out Imperial vehicles
quite easily, and it means they're not much of a threat. You're not going to have problems taking out your Necron rush of death croissants or anything like that. You're going to be all right. Final one, through boldness victory. Your Warlord and any unit he joins does not scatter when arriving from deep strike.
That one's quite nasty.
Brilliant. Yeah. Again, you jump in, you hit exactly where you want to, do all the damage you want to do, and then you jetpack away, 2d6 rather than the 3, but still, that's going to do a lot of damage.
Especially if you happen to take it with a certain character who can take 7.
Yeah, 7 bodyguards. He's been around for a while, and he's had a lot of bodyguards previously, so yeah, you dump him in. Yeah.
I think that's a perfect segue to move on to him, actually.
Yes. So
thinking about it.
If you'd like to take the lead there.
Okay, so Commander Farsight, he's gone down in points, only by a smidgen, but he's gone down. He's Weapon Skill 5, Ballistic Skill 5, Strength 5, Toughness 4, 4 wounds, Initiative 5, 4 attacks, Leadership 10, and a 3-up save because he's in
Crisis Armor,
so that's not changed much. He has a Crisis Battle Suit, as we said, Plasma Rifle, and Shield Generator. Not much of which has actually changed.
No.
All of that.
And because he's got a Crisis Suit now as well, he now gets a multi-tracker, which is actually useless for him because he's only got one weapon, and Black Sun Filter for free, which all Crisis Suits, all suits actually now get.
Yeah, and the Black Sun Filter now also ignores blind.
Yeah, so that's useful. He's also got his signature system, which is a new plugin, so rather than just have all generic systems all the time now, so you just got your plasma guns, your multi-trackers, and then you'd have like a few experimental ones. Now you've actually got proper war gearish style bits of equipment, which
has its own background.
Yeah, its own background, bit of fluff behind it, and they are unique. You can only take one of them in the army, but they are really good as well. So his signature system is his Dawnblade, which
he had before.
It's been his signature all the way through, which makes him AP2 in combat, Armor Bane, and has the same strength as a user, and essentially, that's what made him previously a monstrous creature. Now
he's not a monstrous creature anymore, well, he never was before. It was just
he kind of attacks like a monstrous creature, but still not bad for what he gets.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to complain about AP2. How many melee weapons you have that are AP2 that aren't unwieldy?
Yeah, and on top of that, independent character. So he actually has the rule now, so he can leave squads, rejoin squads, jump around like that. Always useful. Preferred enemy orcs.
He had that before, so not going to complain about that.
But the way that preferred enemy works now compared to when he previously had it, again, much better. So you're rolling, ones on shooting and combat. Brilliant. Supporting fire. Now, this is the kind of signature Tau rule now, where if you're in
6 inches.
6 inches of another unit, if they get charged, you can also add your firepower to the Overwatch.
Yeah. You can still only fire 1 Overwatch per assault phase.
Yeah.
So
you've got to pick and choose. If there's multiple assaults, you're going to have to really pick which way your fire lane is going to go. But if there's just the one, whatever's charging that unit's going to get blown to pieces. I mean,
utterly obliterated.
With Farsight, he can take a bodyguard squad of crisis suits up to 7 strong, and each one of those can mount 2 or 3 weapons each. They can only fire the 1 in Overwatch, but that's still going to be 7 plasma guns, 7 missile pods, 7 fusion guns,
7 flamers if you happen to take
7 flamers, and not much going to get through that and live. And all the units in the Tau army, which are Tau, so not your Crew or your Vespid, but your Tau core units, can all do that. So it's a lot different tactical game in that people are going to have to really pick and choose their combat. They can't just wade into you and wade through your lines all the way through, because each movement they make, they're just going to get shot to pieces. So that's his basic stuff. He's then got the Warlord trait through boldness victory.
That's the deep strike one.
That's the deep strike one. So him and his 7 guys deep strike without scattering, which is horrendous. and he's very bulky, which just means he can't be put in a transport.
Yeah.
To be fair, there's been a lot of talk on the net about what is bulky, what isn't bulky. Anything with a jetpack is considered bulky, and as such, then can't get into a transport. Yeah. So you can't put your drones inside the back of a hammerhead, devilfish. You can't put your stealth suits in the back of a devilfish. You know, they are bulky, and all your characters in suits are bulky. In terms of how it also works, he doesn't have any restrictions anymore. So
no,
you're not
which is
have,
always very nice.
Yeah, so you're not going to have to like only take one hammerhead, only one Pathfinder unit, only one stealth suit unit. He can take one of everything, everything now. He's not restricted at all.
He can also still take Ethereals and be put with Commander Shadowsun, which he couldn't before, which gives it that nice feeling of we can do a battle where it's before he went Renegade.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He obviously still has the blade, but, it's just before he went and swanned off into the sunset. But, yeah, so, you've got the flexibility there, and together, adding these characters together as well is horrendous. I mean, we'll get to Shadowsun next as we're here. So Shadowsun, she's gone down in price.
By quite a lot, but then she now has to pay for her drones.
Yeah, which, not too bad.
No.
She's got a Ghost Who Walks Among Us, so she's got the skill that allows her to do 3d6 on the jump.
Yeah.
So you get her, you stick her with Farsight in the same unit with his bodyguards, which then means, because she's a stealth suit, she's got stealth and shroud.
Yeah.
Which then means all his crisis suits have stealth and shroud, and they jump 3d6. And when they
wouldn't be able to use both the Warlord traits, though.
No.
No, because you only choose one Warlord.
Oh, okay. I suppose, but still. I mean, Stealth and Shroud and the ability to deep strike where you like, or Stealth and Shroud and being able to then jump 3d6 each time.
I think I'd probably go for the deep strike where you can just drop them down and obliterate a unit.
I don't know, because you could do that with a homing beacon.
This is true.
And then move 3d6 each turn afterwards as well, so it makes them a really highly mobile Death Star, which is what you're going for, really, if you're taking 7 crisis suits in one unit.
Yeah.
Plus 2 characters. Plus drones, plus, it adds up. But, so in terms of Shadowsun, stat line's the same, I believe.
Yeah, there's not much change on her stat line. About the only thing that has changed is due to her stealth battle suit. Now is a 5-up invuln rather than a 4-up invuln.
Yep. And she has the advanced targeting system, so she can fire one of her weapons at a different target. So one of them still has to be at the target of the unit, but one at another one. And she's got fusion blasters, which previously were melter guns. Now, they're melter guns with an 18-inch range. So, a nice little sort of nod to the Tau actually having slightly better tech and a better range. So,
well, it's a 9-inch melter.
Yeah.
So
you get a melter roll within 9 inches rather than 4. Is it 4?
6.
6, yeah. So, much better. Her drones, you've got the MV52 shield drone, which has a 3-up invulnerable save, which you can buy.
Compared to the 4-up invuln, because they're an experimental drone, essentially. So
they're really good, and keep her alive, just stick them in front of her and just watch the shots just bounce off of her all the time. And a command link drone that allows a friendly unit within 12 to reroll hits of misses of a 1. So basically you've got the Warlord trait that we mentioned earlier, all the time within 12 inches of her with her drone, which, again, if you're in a big bubble of 7 crisis suits with Farsight, all re-rolling your 1s to hit, you're going to do a lot of damage.
Oh, a hell of a lot of damage.
And we've already mentioned, it's in the entry there, you can take your Crisis Battlesuit Command bodyguard teams. One of the rules they now have is...
Swarm Protector.
Swarm Protector. Where as long as you've got a model with Swarm Protector in your unit, you can automatically pass your Lookout Sir rolls. So no longer have to do a 2-pass or anything else, you just automatically pass it. What also it doesn't say is that the unit that then jumps in the way and takes a shot for you doesn't have to be the Swarm Protector. So if you've got your big Death Star, and they've got Swarm Protector because they're bodyguards, and you give them drones as well, all the Lookout Sir hits will be taken on the drones.
Yeah, which...
Finally! I mean, it was there in the very first edition of the Tau that they'd actually get in the way first and they take the hits for you, and then it just kind of drops to the wayside. But yeah, finally, it happens again. You can now actually take the hits on the drones and they're doing their job. They're dying rather than your expensive crisis suits taking one in the face. Which, much better.
Yeah. I mean, she has a special variant of that called Defender of the Greater Good, so this is one of her special rules. Oh, yeah. This basically says that any stealth unit that she joins gains a Swarm Protector special rule.
So again, your stealth suits and then their drones as well. I mean, I probably wouldn't put it with stealth suits, to be honest. It's wasted she's good enough as she is on her own, and they don't get much benefit from her joining them, other than they can fire a melter shot at something else. But if you put her with another unit, they then get the benefit of Stealth and Shrouded, which can be horrendous. I mean, Crisis suits with Stealth and Shrouded, of any size, are going to be brilliant. And even better if there's another character in there, or, you know, if you want to put them with your Pathfinders, possibly, or, you know, anything, but really, really good.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one that we've got on the list is...
Space Pope!
Yes, Space Pope Anvar. He was the worst one in the old Codex, I must say. He was the worst one in the whole rules, or the whole 40k.
I never really understood what they were thinking with him previously and why you'd bother taking him.
No.
I'm keen to find out why you'd take him now.
Why you take him now? He's gone from 205 points to 100 points. So he's...
But 100 points of worthlessness is still 100 points of worthlessness.
This is true, but then his special rules just make him so much better now.
Okay.
Okay, so...
Let's go through his stat line, because this has got to impress me now.
Yeah, he's weapon skill 1.
Right.
Ballistic skill 3 with no ranged weapon.
As you good, if you can not shoot a gun, you might as well be better at it.
Strength 2, so the old man is hitting you with his walking stick.
Right, okay.
Toughness 3.
So crumples like a piece of paper and shot. Okay.
Crumples like a towel.
Yeah.
He's got 4 wounds.
Okay.
Yeah. Initiative 1.
Right, so even if he just try and hit you, it's not any time fast.
1 attack.
Right, okay.
Leadership of 10.
Yeah.
And he's now got a 5-up armor save. Because previously, the Paradox of Duality, his big staff, gave him a 5-up cover save.
Right.
For a dude who's meant to be kind of going into close combat because of how, with his bodyguards, they got no shooting of any description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really feeling it still.
Okay. How about if we go through his Ethereal Guard? They might
they might perk me up. Yeah. Let's see.
Okay. Weapon skill 4.
Okay.
Okay. Ballistic skill 4 with no ranged weapons.
No ranged weapons.
Strength 3. Toughness 3.
Right.
2 wounds.
Okay.
Initiative of 3.
Right.
3 attacks. Leadership 10 and a 5-up save.
Okay, and these have got the old honor blades. So
that's plus 2 strength.
5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the stats aren't really doing it for you. No. How about if we go on to his... first off, let's start with his signature system, as we've mentioned it already.
Yep.
The Paradox of Duality, if
Okay.
you'd like to read that one out.
Right, okay, let's see. So whenever Anvar's unit suffers one or more... I don't know why I paused then. Whenever Anvar's unit suffers one or more unsaved wounds from a shooting attack, roll a d6. If the result is higher to or equal than the AP of the shot, the wound is discounted.
Keep reading.
Exactly as if the cover exactly as if the cover save had been passed. Wounds from AP1 weapons are therefore automatically discounted. This roll cannot be made against weapons of AP nothing. Okay, so
and he gets that in addition to his armor save.
Right, so he's got a 5-up save,
which isn't fantastic, and then he's got a 2-up armor save against las cannons.
Yeah, or melter guns just can't hurt him. 2-up from plasma. Yeah, that's...
Basically going to be sending orcs if you want to take him out.
Yeah, but even then, because he's got a 5-up armor save, it's only... Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So that's a bit better.
Yeah.
He's still just a hard-to-kill Space Pope, though.
This is true, until you decide to go on to his special rule.
Bonding Knife Ritual.
Okay, Bonding Knife Ritual.
No?
Basically, no, this isn't the one. But
right, okay.
Bonding Knife Ritual basically gives everyone heroic morale, which is the same as Bonding Knives were before.
Right, okay.
Failure is not an option is the next one.
Okay.
Failure is not an option is anyone within 12 inches of him uses his leadership value for their...
Okay, so leadership 10 bubble.
Yeah, so leadership 10 bubble.
That's all right.
Okay. And if he gets killed, he awards 2 victory points.
Okay. That's better than everyone running away.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you guys back home. I've regularly had, in the 6th Ed, 2 Ethereals, one at the back, one at the front, running forward, get shot in the face, and then give my army preferred enemy, and then watch as half my army then just walks off the board regardless because I failed at the save. So it's nice that they're not actually doing that anymore.
Okay. He also has a special rule called Supreme Loyalty, which is the old rule for Ethereals. Anyone who could see him got to re-roll failed ones, except it's anyone on the board. They don't have to see him anymore.
Oh, okay.
So,
that's useful. I mean, a number of times I couldn't actually see my Ethereal and then ran off. Yeah. No.
But all of this pales in comparison to his special rule that all Ethereals get this rule, and he can use it twice in the same turn, is Invocation of the Elements.
Right, okay.
Now this one, you get to choose one of the 4 elements, so you've got fire, earth, wind, air, and...
Captain Planet.
Yes, Captain Planet. And for each one of these, there's a special rule that affects everyone within 12 inches.
Okay, so you kind of mini feat things that you can do each turn.
Yeah. Start off with the Calm of Tides, which gives everyone within 12 inches stubborn.
So stubborn, leadership 10. Actually... Yeah.
There you go, stubborn leadership 10. The Sense of Stone, which gives everyone within 12 inches feel no pain on a 6-up.
Useful, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know, situational really.
Yeah.
But...
Then we've got Zephyr's Grace, which is that you can run and then fire snapshots.
Okay.
So you roll your d6, you move that d6 and then fire snapshots.
Okay, so that's better. I mean, for the Tau, being a bit more mobile and then, you know, unleashing a hail of fire, doing a kind of fallback, I'm not going to say retreats, but you know, tactical withdrawals, back the table. Yeah, that's quite useful.
And then we go on to Storm of Fire. This one is nasty, okay? This one, anyone within 12 inches of him gets to fire, as long as the enemy is within half their range and they've got pulse weaponry, gets to fire an additional shot. So your rapid firing fire warriors are now firing 3 shots.
Okay, and if they've so carbines,
Kroot rifles,
which now have pulse shells, and the pulse rifles, and I think that's it.
Yeah, it's mostly your infantry.
Yeah.
But they all are getting an additional shot. Everyone within 12 inches. Only one Ethereal can pop it per turn.
Yeah.
But within 12 inches, everyone's firing 3 shots.
So if you've got a full unit of fire warriors, that's 36 shots.
Plus any drones.
Well, yeah, 36 shots if you're within half range. Plus any drones as well. Yeah, that's
and he gets to choose 2 of those. So you get to choose Zephyr's Grace, run, move back. So move back d6 inches and then fire using Storm of Fire.
So you can fire an extra shot as well.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that works. And as we'll go on to later, with the Markerlight system as well, that can increase the ballistic score of your Snapfire and Overwatch and Skyfire and everything else. So if you've got a lot of Markerlights hits as well, this sheer amount of firepower you're putting out, it's going to do a lot of damage there.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool.
So that's all, and he's got the Warlord trait, Exemplar of the Selfish Cause. So anybody who's gone to ground gets back up again.
Right, okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'd use him still.
I don't know.
But it depends what kind of game you're going to play. You know, if you're going to do a lot of kind of tactical withdrawals.
I don't know. The fact that you get to, you know, once you start getting everyone up in your face, you can start firing 3 shots off.
Yeah.
And when you start combining that with some of your other ones, you start getting 4 shots per.
Yeah.
You know, it really starts building up the number.
Yeah.
The fact that you can get a maximum of 4 shots each, so that's 12 plus your 2 drones, so that's 4 times 14 is 14, 28, 56 shots.
At half range.
At half range.
Yeah, no, that would do it.
Yeah, up against, and if you happen to have someone with Skyfire in there as well.
Yeah.
Firing 56 shots up at
a flyer. Yeah, that would do the job. Even if you don't have Skyfire and you've got some marker hits on the flyer as well, that would do it. Or just anything else coming at you. Yeah.
And at 100 points...
it's quite a toolbox. It's not bad.
He's not going to die quick. He's not going to die very easily.
No, I mean, it's going to be frustrating when someone comes in with, like, you know, a load of fire dragons and they find that the weapons are completely useless against him. That's always good. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's not bad.
He's certainly improved the most, I think, out of all of them, though.
Yeah, that wouldn't be hard, to be honest. They could have improved him just by dropping him from the Codex.
This is true.
But, you know, I'm glad they kept him in there and have done something different. A new model would have been nice. I mean, the artwork for him looks really cool, and then you've got kind of the old man in his wheelchair as a model. But Not bad.
But speaking about models which got dropped from a codex, I think some people might recognise this next one.
So next up, we've got another Ethereal, Aun'Shi.
No, okay. So he's weapon skill 5.
Okay.
Ballistic skill 3, again.
No gun.
No gun, so yeah. Strength 3 with an honor blade, so he's strength 5. Toughness 3.
Yep.
3 wounds. Initiative of 5. 4 attacks. Leadership of 10 with a 4-up invulnerable save because he has a shield generator.
He's got an honor blade, so it means he's strength 5.
Yeah.
EMP grenades and photon grenades, so he's got...
well, talking about EMP grenades, they've improved.
They're haywire now, aren't they?
Yeah, so a 2 to 5 now glances rather than a
4 to 5.
Yeah.
So, yep, so he's taking out vehicles, and it's not a power weapon, which is a shame for the honor blade. So you're still getting your armor safe, but at strength 5, you're cutting a few things down. It's more against orcs and everything else.
Unless, of course, you decide to challenge someone. Because then, because of his Blade Master special rule, you get to choose one of 2 styles.
All right,
the first one, Patient Blade.
Patient Blade.
Patient Blade lets you re-roll failed saves.
That's, for himself.
Yeah, yeah, for himself. And the second one down, the Killing Blade gives him rending.
All right, okay, so that does get around the armour problem there.
Only works with challenges, though.
And he's... Now he is... Oh, he does have Invocation of the Elements as well. So he's got
because he is an Ethereal.
He's still an Ethereal, so he's got Stubborn, so he can do his extra shots or get back up or everything else becomes stubborn. Yeah. So, yeah, okay.
I mean, all Ethereals are also stubborn, so he has it himself.
He's slightly more than Space Pope.
Yes, but not by an awful lot, and he will slash someone's face off.
Okay, yeah. Again, Tau, close combat, do you want to do it? I don't know. I suppose if you've got the points spare over a normal Ethereal.
But then, let's face it, with some of the other ones that come a bit later on, your HQ slots are going to start filling up quickly.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to be taking
I think it's flavoursome because, everyone liked the original guy.
Yeah, well, he sliced an orc in half.
Marines do that all the time. But, he was an interesting looking character, and it's nice to brought him back, I suppose. I'm disappointed there's no crew character. I was hoping they might bring Angie Pock, or whatever his name was, back in. I remember him from Games Day. He was quite good.
I have his model. He's my shaper.
He's still got a packet. But I would have thought they might have put a Kroot one in there. Maybe if they're doing another book later on with the allies or something like that, they might have one in there. But then everyone can take him then, not just the Tau. So.
But then they're mercenaries.
Yeah, I suppose it makes sense. Yeah. So next up, we're then going on to the new characters, which obviously people are waiting for. So we've got first up Darkstrider.
Okay, so Darkstrider is weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 5, strength 3, toughness 3, 3 wounds, initiative 3, attacks 3, lots of 3s in there. Yeah. Leadership of 9 and a 5-up save because he's in recon armor, which is a new Pathfinder armor.
Now a lot of the Tau characters so far have got quite a large number of wounds, really. Yeah,
I mean, considering before they had 1, maybe 2.
For guys who are generally weaker than a guardsman, they've suddenly really bulked up and found steroids in the latest expansion,
He has a pulse carbine for his, so that's 18 inches. Yep. Which is now an assault 2 weapon and still has pinning.
Oh, it does still have pinning?
It does still have pinning.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. We might have to correct another video later on. Yeah. But we've obviously had a bit of a better read now, and it does still have pinning then.
Does still have pinning, yes.
Oh, awesome. Okay, that's much better. Photon grenades are standard. Black Sun filter and a marker light. Brilliant.
So he's essentially a Pathfinder leader. His fluff says that he's been promoted. He's just refusing to leave the Pathfinders.
So he's basically Judge Dredd.
Yes.
He's just never going to leave the streets, always pounding the beat and...
blowing up fuel depots and...
Yeah. Okay.
He's... Cool. His special rules, fight on foot, means he can only ever join Pathfinders or Fire Warriors. Okay. Like I said, he's not going to take a suit of any sort.
Independent character as well.
Of course.
Which, it's nice to see they're actually putting these on the characters for a change,
He's...
Outflank and Scout, which you get as Scout anyway, so I don't know why they had to put Outflank on there, but fair enough.
Just to make sure that you know.
Definitely got it, yeah. Sporting Fire, so
all Tau have it.
All Tau have it, so he's adding his firepower to other people's Overwatch. Fighting Retreat. Darkstrider and his unit can consolidate D6 in any direction immediately after firing Overwatch.
Yeah, so you fire Overwatch and then you get to move back.
So you're basically moving yourself out of charge range, having shot the guy in the face multiple times with your souped up number of shots, thanks to your Ethereal bumping you up to like 50 odd shots.
Yeah.
And then just really annoying the guy who's going, and now we're out of combat.
Especially if you happen to have that nice new drone in, and he's in a Pathfinder squad.
Yeah, which we'll get onto later, but there's some really dirty things you can do there with the charge ranges and everything else now. Now, it's interesting.
He's also got a signature system.
Okay,
his signature system reduces as long as it has a toughness value, so no vehicles, it reduces the toughness by 1, which also affects for instant death.
Okay,
which,
so
if they happen to be a multi-wound toughness 3, they're now toughness 2 and can be killed instantly.
So guard, elder, dark elder, basically.
Yeah, they're going to be instant death by his strength 5.
Nice. Is that him and his unit?
Him and his unit, and I believe it does.
Yes, entire units.
Yeah, and it's just the toughness it affects, but that's still
can't be used when firing snapfire shots. But yeah, still, it's quite devastating.
Yeah.
You see your Exarch or something like that just suddenly cark it for one shot to the face. Always good. I mean, as characters go, I think he'll get a lot of use to begin with because he's interesting, and once you learn his tactics and you move him around and everything else, it's going to be quite cool. But I think in the long term,
people are going to realise
they're going to see him and they're just going to shoot him from a distance. They're not going to try and charge him because they know what's going to happen. You know, they just pipe him to death with frag missiles or things like that, and they'll take him out. But it's still useful because independent character, you just move into whichever squad you need to be at the time.
Yeah.
And if you just don't have the points for anything bigger, it's worth taking. And it's an added layer of tactics that people might not get used to straight away. It depends on your local meta, as always. If they're slow, then keep playing him. Yeah. Both playing him, the character, and playing the slow guy, because it's easy win. But I can't believe I just said that.
No, you nasty person, you.
I'm going to hell. But yeah, I mean, people will adapt to him, but then that's the same for any character.
Yeah, and then they move on, and then you move on as well.
Yeah, and you find a new tactic from him and do something else. So yeah, fine. I mean, the fact he's an independent character, stick him with some broad crisis suits.
He can't go into crisis suits.
Oh no, sorry, Fire Warriors and Pathfinders only.
Yeah.
Okay.
So another. Yeah. Oh well. It happens.
Next up we have Ethereals.
Yeah. He's a cheap Aun'Shi basically. Yeah. He's got failure is not an option, so that's exactly the same.
It gives 1 victory point rather than 2 when he dies, but you
he gets 2 rather than 1.
No, he gives 1.
No, he has failure is not an option. That's where the rule is. It's part of failure is not an option. No, everyone within 12 inches uses his leadership value. No,
I'm thinking the one where he dies, he gives them a victory point. So I'm just getting my rules completely mixed up there.
Yeah.
He's read it a lot more than I have. Still waiting on my order.
He's got an independent character, which before. Invocation of the Elements, which he can choose 1 of rather than 2.
Yep.
But then he's half the points of Aun'Shi.
Yeah, I think he's actually the same points as he used to be.
Yeah, he's not changed in points at all.
He's
not changed in his stat line any.
You can give him an Honor Blade, or you can give him the Maracas of Death.
Equalizers, I think they're called now.
Maracas of Death, much better.
And I mean, the Honor Blade is cheaper.
Yeah, +2 strength or +1 attack.
Yeah. It's also got an AP, the equalizers.
But also, if you're in combat, you're dead.
Yeah.
You should be in combat with Ethereal. Yeah. You don't get the benefit for him dying anymore, so don't throw him out the front like I used to.
And he doesn't have any sort of save either.
Oh, they never had that, but...
Yeah, but he still doesn't have any sort of save.
So, no point throwing him out
He
front.
can take a Black Sun filter, which...
I suppose
he doesn't have
no, it'd be useful, because if you gave him the Black Sun filter and then he joined a...
Pathfinders.
Pathfinders can get it.
Fire Warriors.
Fire Warriors,
yes, because Fire Warriors have lost the ability to take it.
Fire Warriors can't take him anymore.
So actually, that's quite a good...
He's useful there. You give them Night Fight.
He can also take a homing beacon.
Yeah.
So that's always...
useful as well.
Yeah, it's only 5 points, and he can take 2 drones.
Yep, so you can get your armor save from there, or you can give him Markerite drones. Can't give him missile pod drones, sadly. That's been errated already, but it's a shame. It would have been nice to have a massive amount of autocannon spam, but I can see why they did it. There's so much more stuff out there now that gives you boost to the army that you don't really need the extra missile pod shots.
So would you take the Ethereal or Aun'Shi, considering Aun'Shi can do 2 Invocation of the Elements, and it's literally twice the number of points for Aun'Shi?
Oh, again, it comes down to the points.
If
I'm using 1 Force Org, I'd probably go for a beefed up commander or one of the character commanders and then a standard Ethereal, rather than 100 points for
Envoy.
2 uses of it, because there's other things you can do anyway.
Yeah.
If I was going for 2 Force Org, then yeah, maybe. But if I was being really cheesy with 2 Force Org, I'd go for 4 commanders with 4 units of Crisis Bodyguard suits.
And one of whom is Farsight, so he has 7.
And then 6 other units of Crisis suits, and then maybe like 2 Fire Warriors. and then I'd lose all my friends, and I'd have to find a new place to play and just wander the country, decimating marine armies at a time with so much plasma that they will never look at a Tau army in without retching ever again.
That sounds like a good plan.
That's what you want in life, really. You want people to look at your army and go, just to go, finally, bit of payback, boys.
Yes, considering how many times, I think the first time I won with Tau was quite recently. And like I changing all my tactics, and unfortunately it was just like every time I got, it was always by a close margin.
Yeah.
But because the old codex was just so
outdated, and it had its strengths and weaknesses, but you really had to play. Either you had to take forward bits to buff yourself up a bit, or
it was very unforgiving.
Yeah,
unforgiving, I think, was the
times.
Don't take that to mean that I know nothing about Tau, by the way.
Yeah, he's read the codex, he just can't use it.
Yeah.
He knows a lot about it, he just can't play them to save his life. But yeah, it happens. I would never say this man is a player.
No. Anyway, I think we should move on. Anyway.
Quickly, before I find another way to pick at you.
Yes.
Okay. What's the arm? No. So
don't ask.
Finally, we've got the Cadre Fireblade, which is the...
He's not a named character per se, so you can take 2 of him.
Yep, which is always useful. Yeah, and these are basically a bit like Darkstrider in there. They've gone up through the ranks and they've gone, sod it, I'm going to stop there, I'm going to be a Pathfinder, I'm
going to be a Fire Warrior. I know my place, I don't have the tactical acumen or
I'm obviously going to eat a lot, that's why my armour sticks out here, and I'm going to carry my cake knife at all times.
Just in case you find some cake.
No, but the cake was a lie.
Yeah.
Every take I say it, every take.
Yes, every take. This is like the 3rd time you said it.
But, so, read on for the Cadre Fireblade.
Weapon skill 4 and ballistic skill 5, which is very nice for a Tau.
He can shoot.
Yes, he's a Tau who can shoot.
Line. He can hit things for a change.
He's strength 3 because he's Tau, toughness 3, 3 wounds, initiative 3, 3 attack. Again, lots of 3s in this army. It's almost like it's a magic art. It's almost like 3 is a magic number. Leadership of 9, which is 3 times 3, and a 4 up save because he's got
3+1.
Yes.
Just to really catch you out there.
Yes.
He's got combat armour, so 4+ save, pulse rifle, photon grenades, and a marker light. So BS5 marker light straight away, useful. And not only character.
He's also
split fire,
which means that he can fire his marker light at someone else,
which is always useful. But it doesn't mean he can fire his pulse rifle and his marker light.
He doesn't have a multi-tracker.
So he can still only fire 1 weapon, but it does mean he can track something else, which is always useful.
Yeah.
Supporting fire as normal.
Because let's face it, the reason you're taking him is for volley fire.
Yes. So this is where it really gets filthy.
Yeah.
So you stick him behind, well, whichever unit you want him to join, or just move between units.
He does have to be in the unit, though.
He does have to be in it.
He does have to be in it.
So, but then he can, independent characters, just join and leave as he wants.
Yeah.
And, just bounce in between whichever ones you want to use at the time.
Yeah.
If they remain stationary in the movement phase, they're pulse rifles and pulse carbines. So really, again, you're just going to be putting them into Fire Warriors and Pathfinders.
Yeah.
May each fire an additional shot in the shooting phase. So there'll be a big unit of, full-size unit of Fire Warriors with drones. Plus you have an Ethereal. And then you have him join it, and you have drones with him as well, I believe, you can take, possibly.
Yes. Yeah, you may take 2 drones.
You don't move, you pop his feet, you pop the Ethereal's feet, and then next thing you know, you're shooting like 70 shots out.
Because you can take another 2 drones with your Fire Warrior squad as well.
Yeah. So 6 drones.
It's filthy. It's filthy. Or if you're doing a double Force Org, take him, an Ethereal, and Darkstrider. So they're -1 to their toughness as well.
Yeah. And can Darkstrider take drones?
He doesn't have any upgrades, unfortunately.
Okay. But yeah, so you've got a nice little dirty combo there for sticking out a load of shots. And again, if someone tries to... when does that volley fire work?
Talking about it, that's still cheaper than Dante.
Yes.
That's still cheaper than a fair few HQs.
And they hit faster with Dante as well, because they're not cumbersome.
Yeah. Yeah, Power Axe.
Yep. Oh, it's heavier now. Use the other arm, mate. If it's getting tired, use the other arm.
Yeah. Okay. So that's him, though. He's 60 points, which is nice and cheap as well. I think that's one of the cheapest HQs.
You know, if you've got the points spare, you take your big Uber suit guy, not the big Uber suit itself, but the your commander, and then you've got so many little kind of toolboxes you can use to fit various niches in your army, which, again, as we go through these videos, Tau are all about the synergy. You know, they all interact in really nicely ways, they all cover each other, and if you can move them all together at the same time and interact well, you're going to devastate people. And that's the trick of it. It's all about the synergy. Yeah,
well, you create the killing fields with just supporting fire itself. You create killing fields. Yeah. It means actually doing something like Kuron or the Patient Hunter is slightly more viable because you lure them in, they charge, like, I'm going to charge this unit and I'm going to take them out. No, you're not, because you've been obliterated by this huge killing field which you didn't see.
Yeah. And especially because, you get units with like Rage or anything like that.
Yeah.
Come on. Yes. Come on, chase it.
Come on, Khorne Berserkers, you know you want to.
Really good. And then last but not least,
your commander.
So
who isn't +1 anymore.
No.
So you don't have to take him.
And with the commander and the crisis suits, you don't have to fill up all their slots anymore. No. So whereas previously you take your 2 weapons, your hardwired Black Unsilter, your hardwired multi-tracker,
which are now free.
Which are now free, not hardwired at all. And then you would take your drone controller, because you had to fill it, and you want something cheap and free, so you take that because there's nothing else to it. They've gone, screw that. People are blatantly doing it all the time.
Yeah.
You can have up to as many slots as you've got.
Yeah.
So
you can with him
4, and
all the others have 3.
So yeah, you don't have to take all the weapons. You can take a weapon if you wanted to, and just pump out and everything else. And that's, again, it's the modular nature of the Tau. It's the synergy that you can go from there, as we'll go into now.
Yeah.
The commander is brilliant. One thing I do have to say though, you've seen all the kind of new armor variants. So you've got your Riptide, El Cataclysmo,
who you'll find out about later.
Yes.
You'll find out why we're talking about that.
The broadsides, your crisis suits, and you've got the new Enforcer armor. The Enforcer armor does nothing.
He's there as that's my commander, shoot him in the face.
It's basically to make your model bigger and look like a commander, not just a fancily painted crisis suit.
Talking about fancily painted crisis suits.
You probably can't see them that well. This is my personal army. We've got some other stuff we'll get out later in the week. I just wanted to stick it out on the table because it's been a while since I've dusted it off, but there's pictures somewhere. Justin might put some out, maybe not, I don't know. Feedback to me how they look, and Justin bleep that. Cool. So yeah,
anyway.
So basically the new Failcast commander is just a bigger model, which for a true line of sight is terrible.
Though he does have hands now.
He does have hands, so he can actually
do magic tricks.
And he comes with all the special weapons, so it's nice. And the redesign of the weapons is nice. They do look better than they used to.
Oh
do.
So
yeah, he is a nice model. But I was hoping that he'd actually have something like, have the Iridium armor already included with him or something like that.
Yeah, just
to say, this is why it's a different variant of armor. I mean, you look at all the Forge World stuff, and the variants do have differences. You know?
There's a reason for those.
Yeah, they could have done something there, but it's just a cash grab.
Yeah. But if we
move swiftly on before GW shuts me down.
Yeah.
So he's got. You don't have your O and the L.
No, they've removed... The L is still there for fluff purposes, but for the actual commander, he's a Shazo.
Yeah.
Because he's weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 5, strength 5, toughness 4, 4 wounds, 3 initiative, 4 attacks, leadership 10, 3 up save. Anyone who's got the 4th edition codex will sound very much like a Shazo.
Yeah, but you don't have the option to change him anymore, which is fine, because to be honest...
Who took a Shazel, other than when points were
if you were really strapped for points, then you would, but now you've got other ones you can take instead, so you just don't take a Crisis Suit Commander if you're that strapped.
Yeah.
But now he's got so many options.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where it really comes down to now. You can really, really tailor the guy.
Yeah. I mean,
and I can't wait to see what comes out on all the forums and stuff in future.
Yeah.
With the sheer amount of stuff you can put on him.
I mean, if we talk about his options, because... he's independent character supporting 5, very bulky, all very standard for...
he's got the multi-tracker and he's got the Black Sun filter as standard.
But for the most part, ranged weapons, other than the ones that we're going to talk about, have remained the same with the points increase.
Yeah. Which is just to round them up. I mean, previously they were like 12 points, 13 points.
Now they're 15 points.
15 points, so 20 points. It's just, it makes it easier to calculate the army, which, if you're doing it quickly, it's fine.
Yeah. First one is a burst cannon. is
burst
now...
cannon has changed.
That's now
slightly.
Assault 5.
Assault 4 now.
Yeah, sorry, Assault 4,
so
not Assault 5.
So whereas got 3 shots, now you get 4. Still 18-inch range, still basically a glorified pulse rifle.
Yeah.
But, yeah, fine. You know, you can... With the way they work, because you can take up to 4 weapon systems now, if you take 2 of the same weapon system, you take the cost of it having been twin-linked. Yeah. It doesn't then say you can't take another one. So in a normal crisis suit, you could take 3 of the same kind of weapon. So say 3 burst cannons. So you've got one that's twin-linked, one that isn't. On the crisis suit commander, you could take 4 burst cannons if you wanted to. So he's got 2 twin-linked burst cannons.
Which is very much the Tau Hazard suit.
Yeah, it is the Tau Hazard suit, basically. So he doesn't have the photon grades and stuff, but you know it's viable and it gives you some more build options. Yeah. You know, you could take 3 or 4 different weapons, and you've then got the choice each turn which 2 you're going to fire.
Yeah.
You could give him no weapons if you wanted to.
Yeah, which you'll find out that actually that's quite viable.
Yep.
So the next one, which has changed drastically, actually,
I mean,
the Cyclic Ion Blaster.
This is a much better, better weapon now.
It's 18-inch range as before.
Yep.
Strength 7,
rather than strength 3.
Yeah, strength 3. AP 4, Assault 3. It no longer has rending, yeah.
But strength 7 instead, so you know it's a lot more versatile.
And you can overcharge it to strength 8. Heavy 1 blast gets hot.
Yeah. So you're still not rending, and you're still not going through marine armour per se, but it does give you a quick burst to do a bit of anti-tank and everything else. Yeah. And with the ability to then skyfire potentially, you know, yeah, really useful. Yeah. Obviously not with that because it's a template, but you know, for a strength 7 weapon that fires 3 shots per turn, you know, okay, it's a short range of the missile pod, which is pretty much the same, but you get the extra shots for it, and the chance to overload it to
give it a blast.
Yeah.
Next one is the Air Bursting Fragmentation Projector. 18-inch range as before, strength 4, AP 5, Assault 1, Barrage, ignores cover, and large blast.
And no longer guess.
Yeah, no longer guess.
Because always got it wrong.
By the way, those two, because I don't think that one's changed in stats, but it's actually gone down in price. Okay. So it's one of the exceptions. The Cyclic Ion is the other exception.
And they're no longer limited to special characters, and I think you can have more than 1 per army.
You can now take more than 1 per army.
I believe it's 1 per unit. So any of your crisis suits can now take them.
These rare prototypes may only be taken once per detachment, and both of those, so yeah, still only 1. But anyone can take them.
Right. Okay.
Doesn't have to be a Shaz-free. Just anyone can take them. Yeah.
Because the main focus now is on the specialist support systems. So
yeah, the signature systems, which we'll get on to.
And he can also take a Seeker missile, which we haven't talked about before.
Yeah, they can.
He actually straps it to his leg for some reason. He's got a perfectly big back, but no, onto his leg, just for the scorch marks up his thighs. And yeah, so you can stick a Seeker on him. Yeah. Which is, again, just another platform to have it from. You don't have to use a Marklight to launch it.
No. Which is fired at his ballistic skill, which is still ballistic skill 5. So
yeah, so you know, there's no reason not to, unless you want to fire his 2 weapons and then the Seeker separately.
Yeah.
But it gives you another platform to hide it, and people aren't going to expect it coming out of the middle of a squad here when you've got all your transports over here. If you deep strike them in as well, you deep strike it behind the enemy. You then get all their shots in the back of the armour, and then you hit a Seeker from behind as well. Perfect. You know, really good.
So next, he's got the advanced targeting system is replacing
so these are the support systems.
Yes, these are support. The advanced targeting system has replaced the targeting array, which has disappeared.
Right.
Okay. Any rolls to hit of a 6 made in the shooting phase by a model with the advanced targeting system is a precision shot. If it's a character, then it's 5 or 6.
So you're sniping things out of everywhere.
With your Warlord trait of 1.
But also that means that your normal crisis suits now can...
Precision shot,
which is horrendous, really. Yeah. Black Sun filter as always.
Yeah. Counter fire defense system. It's now ballistic skill 2 to Overwatch, which can still be increased later. Which is
again, you stick that on a couple of your crisis suits. They're then firing back plasma at Marines, charging them at ballistic skill 2. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to take a few down. Yeah.
Next one is a drone controller, which is no longer free, but any drones in that unit, so you only need to take 1, despite the fact that they can take 2 drones.
Yep.
But all drones in that unit fire at the bearer's ballistic skill. So ballistic skill 5 for this bloke. If he takes drones, they'll be at ballistic skill 5.
Which is great. So you've got your sniper drones, you've got your
Marker-Light
drones and your gun drones. So your gun drones and Marker-Light drones are hitting at the ballistic skill of the rest of the squad. So you're not hitting at
a 2.
2+ anymore.
Yeah. On a ballistic skill of 2, so that'll be a
5+. You're hitting on 3s, 4s, and also they're twin link most of the time. So yeah. Nice.
Next one is the early warning override. All weapons on that model gain interceptor.
So again, really good. If you stick it on something that can sky-fire, you're taking out flyers as they come in. Also, if you're deep striking, or someone's deep striking against you, you're shooting them before they come in, which on a crisis suit unit or broadside unit, you're shooting guys as they deep strike in. They're sitting ducks. They're usually tightly packed. If you've got some ion weapons, so you can blast them with that as well, even better. Really good.
Next one is the
homing beacon, which
homing beacon.
Most units, most armies have something like this. It's slightly different for the Tau. It doesn't have to be on the board at the beginning of the turn.
Yeah, which is always very nice.
Previously you'd have to have them on there, and then you can bring them in. Now you can deep strike one unit in, which if it happens to be your Farsight unit or your Warlord unit that has the "we're not scattering today" Warlord trait. One of them has a homing beacon. The other units then coming in 6 inches of them as well. You're getting some really nice positioning on the board, and nothing you can do to stop you. Brilliant.
Next one is the shield generator. It's a 4-up invuln, which that's really not changed very much. Stimulant injector is no longer limited. Everyone can take it.
Which is feel no pain.
Yes.
So one of those in a unit has feel no pain. Brilliant.
Vectored retro thrusters. Everyone can take them. Gives them both fleet and hit and run.
Cool.
Yeah.
Only on.
Not on
broadsides.
Broadsides, but then they don't have jetpacks.
They don't have jetpacks, but so fleet and fleet and hit and run.
Yeah. And now velocity tracker, which is Skyfire.
Yep.
For everyone, a model with the velocity tracker can choose whether or not to have Skyfire.
Yeah, so it doesn't affect the unit, but you sit on your broadsides, you're then hitting them with strength 9 strength 8 railguns.
Yeah, if you put it on your broadside,
Yeah, so really good. And then we come to
the signature systems, which we were talking about before.
These are the kind of the main special war gear bits that you've got now. So these are what really make the Tau different from each other. Yeah. And these are you only have one per army, per command model, but they are brilliant. Yeah. I think your Crisis Battlesuit bodyguards can take them as well.
As can your Shazvrees.
Yeah,
so anybody who isn't just a regular old Crisis suit, in essence,
can take them.
Yeah. The first one is the command and control node, which was useless in the old edition.
Yep.
Because they'd removed target priority tests. Whereas this one, if a model with this war gear does not shoot during the shooting phase, all shooting attacks made by other models re-roll failed to hit.
To hit. So this is better than your re-rolling ones. So one of your guys takes a hit for the team and just doesn't fire. Everyone else then gets to re-roll your hits. Brilliant. For the price of twin linking a weapon, you can now, rather than do that, take a few extra different weapons. So you've then got the versatility and the flexibility in the squad, and this one guy just chooses not to fire this turn. Everyone else then re-rolls of the hits as if they were twin linked.
And it does actually. The commander is different because while everyone else, all the Shazvrees, can only take one signature system, he can take as many as he likes.
Yeah, so they don't take up hardpoint slots anymore.
No.
So
and it specifically says may take items, doesn't limit it, which means that he can combine that with the multi-spectrum sensor suite, which also you have to give up your shooting, but it means that everyone in your unit has the ignores cover special rule.
Which, if you're fighting against certain armies, that can be really, really useful.
Yeah. I mean, these won't affect you for Overwatch, though.
No, because it's only shooting phase,
but
really useful.
Re-rolling to hit and ignoring cover.
I mean, cover... That's a situational one. It depends if you're going to go Marker Light Heavy. If you go Marker Light Heavy, which we'll cover again later on, I don't want to go too much into spoilers what we're going in the future videos, but if you get 2 Marker Light hits on a unit, you ignore all cover.
Yeah.
Basically, it just wipes out the cover on them. They're glowing hot, and all your sensors. So this one, situational.
Yeah.
But if you want to use your Marker Lights elsewhere, it gives you flexibility, and it's probably dirt cheap as well. So.
The failsafe detonator, which instead of it being at the consolidation phase, if they die, they blow up.
Yeah.
Including if your guys are still in there.
Yeah, so it's not as fail-safe as it was before, because your guys aren't safe, they get hit as well, but it's a strength 5,
AP nothing.
AP nothing, large blast, but again, your crisis suits will probably survive that. Other units might not.
Yeah.
Next. I've never really used one. Coward's way out.
Yeah.
But it has its points, if you want to throw a suicide guy in to blow things up, then fair enough,
Next one is the Onega Gauntlet.
Onega Gauntlet.
Onega, I can't pronounce that, by the way, just to let you guys know.
And I just sound like I can, I probably can't at all either. It's the Sandhurst accent.
Yeah, but it's during the fight sub-phase, a model with the Onega Gauntlet can opt to substitute all its close combat attacks for a single strength 10 AP1 attack. So basically, you've replaced their attacks with a power fist attack. but you only get the one hit.
Except it is well, they're usually strength. Oh, they are strength 5, so it is in that sense a power fist because it doubles it. Except it's AP1.
Yeah, which is true.
AP2. And read that sentence again for me, please.
Can opt to substitute all of its close combat attacks for a single strength 10 AP1 attack. Full stop.
So not initiative 1 then.
This is very true. So it means
you're hitting
that
at initiative. So
you
go
challenge
in, Pedro
the guy.
Cantor comes in. He's like, I'm gonna slap you around. You're like, not today, my friend. And crack, he goes down like a sack of potatoes.
Yes, instant death as well because it's
10 AP1 as well. So he's not getting much of an armor save.
No,
I mean, not much is. No. Yeah, that would do the job. And it's nice to see a
punch a land raider.
Yeah, punching land raiders and. Just a weapon that's actually decent in close combat for Tau.
Yeah,
it's unexpected.
Yes, and it means you can make yourself a cheap Farsight.
Yes,
if you want.
Yeah, if you wanted to go that road, then yeah, and why not? You know, his early days, he's not quite swinging the sword quite right yet.
But he still likes punching things.
Yeah, but it means you use the same model and you just reduce the points cost down for smaller battles. Brilliant. Yeah. Why not? As long as you're not taking his 7 Crisis Suit Command Squad, then you'd be fine. This one's our favourite one, isn't it?
Oh, yes. At the start...
this one you'll enjoy.
The NeuroWeb System Jammer. At the start of each enemy shooting phase, a model with the NeuroWeb System Jammer can use it to target a single enemy unit within 12 inches. All shooting weapons in the target unit gains the Get Hot special rule until the end of the phase, at a grand total cost of 2 points.
Right. So this is for all your friends who drop pod their Marines as close as they can with a stern guard, who then come out and start hitting you with like plasmas or Kraken rounds. They're rapid firing at you, and then suddenly all of them getting hot and burning to death.
Yes.
Brilliant. Or you've got your Eldar. They come in with their Dire Avengers. They're like, right, we're going to blade storm you now. Be my guest.
Yes, please.
Please roll as many dice as you can. I just want to see you writhing in pain on the floor.
When you roll an awful lot of ones, because the number of times I've seen someone, huge ball of dice, and it's just a sea of ones with maybe a few hits in there.
And it only takes a couple just to really mess up their day, which is brilliant. Yeah,
at 2 points.
And at 2 points, I can't see that never not being taken.
If you're taking a commander, it's an auto-include.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
2 points.
Yeah.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The next one's been hotly talked about on the net.
Well, it's in the battle report, but they still didn't talk about what it did. It was just
a shame. Yeah. The Pure Tide Engram Neurochip. This one it's quite good fun. And again, it's the whole flexibility of the Tau, the synergy, the fact that they're independent characters now, so you can move them around to move stuff where you want it to.
Yeah.
Basically, this one, at the start of the bearer's movement phase, you can choose one of the following special rules, and that applies to that character. And obviously, because they're universal, for the majority of them, it then applies to the squad they join. And
it lasts until his next movement phase, so it lasts through the enemy's turn as well.
Yes, so if you're lucky enough to then get some Overwatch shots in or something like that.
Say he happens to have Interceptor and Skyfire as well, because if you happen to have given him both of them, and Flyer decides to come in, Tank Hunter, boom.
Yeah, so in terms of what the chip gives you, so at the beginning of movement phase you choose one, and they are Counter Attack, Furious Charge, Monster Hunter, Stubborn, or Tank Hunter. Yeah, there's so much flexibility there. Other than Furious Charge, which I think only affects yourself, not the unit.
Yeah.
Everything else there is a universal rule, which then your unit gets. So suddenly your broadsides have Tank Hunter. Don't know why they need to.
Yeah.
They're still pretty good. Or Counter Attack, or Monster Hunter, Stubborn. It's flexibility, and it's what it's all about with the Tau. Yeah. Your crisis suits become monstrous then. They start having Tank Hunter with their plasma, missile, melters. They've got such a range of weapons they can take, and then such a range of skills you can then give them. You can fill any role you require, other than close combat. But even then, you've got Counter Attack. It could work. I wouldn't. But, yeah, really good. Got 2 left.
Yeah. First one is the Repulsor Impact Field at the start of the fight subphase. At Initiative 10 step, the Repulsor Field inflicts D6 Strength 4 AP nothing hits on the unit that successfully completed a charge.
So this one, they make it through your Hail of Fire. They make it through potentially you taking a step back or pushing them back somehow. We'll go on to that later on in certain things. And then they take a load more hits. So if there's anything left alive, you've got to shake the guy's hand for really pushing hard for that combat. I mean, it's like that's Terminators with Thunderhammer and Storm Shields are going to get through. Not much else is really come through intact. Everything's going to take a load of wounds on their way in against the Tau, and this just really hammers it home some more. And then, you know, you do finally get through. The one guy's like, you know, I'm going to take a Niger fist and punch him to death as well. I mean, yeah, I mean, they were talking about like a close combat suit. There isn't one. It makes sense. The Tau aren't really that way, but they've now got defensive systems that do work that way, and that's what they should be about. It's using the technology to overcome the problems they've got, and yeah, brilliant. That is how it should be.
And then you got the final one, which is the Iridium Battlesuit,
which is an old favourite.
Yes,
and it has changed slightly.
Slightly, it's more expensive. It's gone from 15 to 25, I believe. But it's now 2-up armour and +1 toughness.
Yeah, so
no downside.
There's no restriction on your jump anymore. You're not doing a 1d6 jump rather than 2d6, so brilliant. You're not getting nerfed there by not being able to move, and you get +1 toughness. And with all the toughness now, you know, as it is with 6th edition, there is no 3, 4 in brackets. Your toughness is your toughness, so your guys are getting a lot more versatile and a lot harder to kill then. Brilliant. And a 2+ save as well. So, you know, Terminator armour with a 4+ save if you've got shield drones or a shield generator.
Yeah.
Or both, because why not? With a naked gauntlet, a neural web jammer, and some really sick weapons like the iron cannon thingy.
Yeah.
Brilliant. You know, that's really going to mess people up. And it's nice. I mean, you know, I love my Tau, and I really do.
It's my favourite. It's my favourite army.
But you know, it's nice to see them having a bit of bite to them now. I mean, you know, people are going to call cheese and everything else, but there are elements that we've seen in the Codex later on that they're a bit depressing in places. Some of the bits are like, but the command section is strong. There's so much you can do with it.
Before, the command section consisted of a commander and then
Ethereal. And most of the time you
didn't
wouldn't
take
the Ethereal.
You wouldn't take Farsight because of his restrictions, and he was expensive.
Yeah.
You wouldn't take Shadowsun because she wasn't an independent character, so
and she wasn't very good.
And couldn't join other units, which she can now. Well, I don't think we actually mentioned that, but she can.
They are independent, so and then both together.
And then Space Pope, the most useless HQ in the whole 40k universe.
Whereas now, they've all got a place, and they're all really strong, and they've got a place together as well. I mean, that Farsight Death Star is horrendous. I mean, I can't wait to see that on the table.
Yeah. Or your Cadre Fireblade, 77 shots, and
you know, and there's something nice to build a core of your army around and really theme it from there. You know, if you want a kind of Zulu style front rank fire, second rank fire, you can do that, and you can have just a proper gunline army with waves upon waves of guns, and they put them as far up the board as you can, slowly bring them back into your backs to the wall, and just keep firing and taking everything out. Yeah. Brilliant, And it's
with the amount of Markalites this army now has, because before it was just Pathfinders.
Yeah.
Now, so many other things can take Markalites now.
Yeah.
It's just, you're going to obliterate them before they even get to that point now.
Which is brilliant, it's harsh. So yeah, that is the HQs. Hope we haven't bored you too much.
Yeah.
And join us for the rest of Tau Week, really. We'll see you soon.
It's going to be fun.